And welcome back to the Morning Shift, your source for your hip-hop R&B in the morning here on CHUO 89.1, your official urban station. We just heard Michael speak with I Specialize, and we have someone in the house who specializes on movie, entertainment, cooking, walking, doing the world, everything. It's got to be Keith Whittier from Ottawa Life Magazine in the house. How do you specialize? You like that one, didn't you?
I love the energy that you bring to the people every day. It's wonderful. Thank you for having me back. I appreciate it.
Well, welcome back for another Friday show. We have some great movies to talk about, plus some up-and-coming movies coming out to talk about. So I'll let you start off. What was the movie you watched recently?
Yeah, so they're starting to pick up now, but one of the movies I saw recently was Free Guy. Now, this is the new film with Ryan Reynolds, of course, Canada's darling. And This is a fun action movie, which is from Universal Pictures, but there's a nice kind of Disney tie-in as well. So it's nice to see the studios, in cahoots. So basically, he's this guy who's running this normal everyday life, when then all of a sudden he decides that he kind of wants to do things a little differently and kind of shake things up. And then he finds himself in this whole different world. This is a movie that was, again, one of the many movies that was supposed to come out at a different time, got pushed back because of the pandemic. Yeah, it's in theaters now. And this movie's a lot of fun. I mean, Ryan Reynolds has carved out such a fun career for himself. I mean, not just with some of the campy stuff that he did early in his career, but of course, Deadpool, and now something like Free Guy. And what I really like about this is they've teamed him up with Jodie Comer, who is a name that might not be familiar with a lot of people, but she's an Emmy-winning actress for her role in Killing Eve. Ooh. She was on a great show that was on Netflix called Dr. Foster. She's a very versatile actress, and it was nice to see her get the opportunity to star in such a big budget film like this one. This movie's a lot of fun. This is one of those movies that reminds me of Ready Player One, in terms of they've got so much coming at you and you're having so much entertainment being in the theater watching this. And I'm glad that this is a movie that you can see in the theater now, because I think this is how the film was supposed to be seen. Yeah. Now, I have been told that there's a 3D version. Friends of mine who've seen the 3D version says it's not really worth it, but I saw it in IMAX. I really liked it. It's big, it's loud, it's exciting. It's what summer movies are all about.
Yeah, I went to see it myself, and I really enjoyed it. I love that they had the director of Thor was in it too. Slipping my head. Whittier was in it too, and he was awesome as the villain. He was really cool as the villain. But it was a great movie. I really enjoyed it. All right, what else could you recommend the listeners out there for their pleasure of enjoyment watching stuff?
Well, for their pleasure of enjoyment watching stuff, and you are just a master with words, my good friend.
I know, I'm trying to squeeze that in.
This weekend, we've got a fun movie that's dropping called The Protege. Now, this movie stars Maggie Q, as well as Batman himself, Michael Keaton. Really? As well as the guy who has a hard time getting through any sentence without cursing. Of course, I'm talking about Samuel L. Jackson, one of the hardest working men in Hollywood. So basically, this movie, we've got Maggie Q, who has basically been raised as an assassin. And Sam Jackson's character has been the one mentoring her, and then all of a sudden he is tragic. His character is tragically killed, and now she's out for revenge. Yeah, that's in the trailer. That's not really a big surprise, but so she is Maggie Q. Shouldn't be a stranger to anybody. She's been in Die Hard movies. She's been in Mission Impossible movies. She had her own series called Nikita. She is phenomenal. So if you're looking for knockdown, drag out, fun, great action, this is the movie for you. It's from the writer of John Wick, the director of Casino Royale. It does not disappoint. About a year ago or so, my celebrity crush, Jessica Chastain, was in a movie called Ava, which had very similar undertones to this film. Don't tell Jesse I'm saying this, but I think that The Protege might be a little better. Wow. I really enjoyed this movie. Both of them are really good. It'd be a great double feature, by the way, but both of them are really good. But The Protege's the new one. It's the iPhone 13 to Ava's iPhone 12. It's playing in the theaters as of today. We're Friday, so definitely go and check that out. Protege, great film.
Awesome. What else could you recommend?
Okay, so you've used the word recommend. I'm not sure if I'm recommending this movie, but let's talk about...
You are a critic, so you have to recommend some good stuff. 2 thumbs up. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is I'm not necessarily sure if this next film is going to be one of those 2 thumbs up. Well, I can tell you it's not. It is a new film called Till Death, and it stars Megan Fox. Now, Megan Fox has had such an interesting career. She burst onto the scene in Transformers. She was like every like on every cover story, everybody loved her. Sexiest woman alive with Maxim and all of this good stuff. And let's just say that Oscar hasn't exactly come calling her name, but I respect the fact that she is still making a solid effort in terms of trying to come out with interesting roles for her to portray. I mean, last year she was in a film where she basically was taking on lions and mercenaries in the jungle, which is an interesting film.
I didn't watch that one. I couldn't. I can't see her as an action star, really and truly.
Yeah, so. The problem with that film was it was the CGI'd lions as opposed to her CGI performance. But in this film, till death, she plays an unhappy wife. And her husband takes her away to this cabin to kind of hopefully like rekindle their love. But then something happens. The next morning she wakes up and she's handcuffed to her husband. Oh, and by the way, her husband's dead.
What?
Oh, and by the way, 2 guys are coming to this remote cabin to rob and kill her. So now she has to save herself. I don't necessarily know if I'm going to tell you about any sort of special set of skills, but what I will say is, did I regret seeing the movie? No. Did I at the end of it, did I think, I want these 2 hours of my life back or whatever it was, or an hour and a half actually? No. But do I think this is going to be a movie that's going to hit with a lot of people? Probably not. This movie is going direct to video. I think it's playing in theaters in some markets, but here in Ottawa, I believe it's going to be direct to video.
Yeah.
There are worse movies that you could see. I think it's an okay film. I mean, no, I wasn't like doing the watch check and like, is this over? Yeah. But I mean, at the same token, not, outside of her acting, which was fine, to be honest with you, it's just the script. It's very predictable in terms of how it goes. There wasn't a ton of originality, but I will commend her. This was a strong physical performance in terms of the things that she had to do throughout the course of this film, because this is, it's a winter cabin, so there's a lot of the elements out there. So bravo to her, because a lot of actors, actresses, whatever, wouldn't have taken on this role. So bravo to her. I'll give her props for that. Do I think this is the best movie? No, but it's not even close to being the worst. Oh. So approach with caution, but kind of like, set the expectations a little lower and you might enjoy it.
So let me ask you a question. Is it gory?
No, I wouldn't say it's overly gory. There's a bit of gore, but I wouldn't say it's overly gory. No.
Yeah, because my wife is, she like the gory stuff too much. But
no,
I might get her to watch this one. Now, just dropped recently is the Eternal trailer. What do you thought of the trailer so far?
I will tell you. So I saw the trailer, and you know me, I'm a huge fan of Marvel. Not just because of the quality of work that they do was great, but just how everything's so meticulously planned out. I don't know a lot about the Eternals, so, comic book people, don't be mad at me. But what I will say is that this seems to be a little potpourri of a bit of everything. It's like, you look at the trailer, it's like, oh, that's the guy from Game of Thrones, and oh, that's one of the ladies from Crazy Rich Asians, and hey, what's Angelina Jolie doing here? So it's a bit of everything, but it's Marvel, so of course it's going to work. Of course it's going to do really well. From a story standpoint, listen, I needed to take a little break from Marvel after Endgame. Yeah. I needed that emotional rebound. So I'm interested to see where this goes. I'm excited about it. It drops in November. Of course I'll see it. But in terms of like, did this trailer like send me over the moon the way like an Endgame trailer did? No. Yeah. I was like, okay, this is what they're doing next. All right, let's see where this goes. Awesome. So my expectation levels, I'd say for this one's at a medium.
Yeah, I'm still once again, I don't know much about the Eternals either, so all the comic book people, please do not attack me too. But once again, if you look at Disney, what they do with these lower end comic book storylines like Guardian of the Galaxy, they lift them up to the next level. So I think that you're right. Disney has recipe that they usually use, and they usually turn out pretty good for their movie. I haven't had yet see a bad Disney Marvel movie yet, so that's knock on wood. Speaking of Marvel movies, the big one is coming out too, Shang-Chi. Are you excited to see that movie, and what do you think about the reviews so far about the movie?
I'm very excited about seeing this film. I remember several years ago, as you do, I remember being in the theater with you when we saw the at the end of, I forget which Marvel movie it was, but it teased that there was going to be a standalone Black Panther. Yeah. And the silence in the audience was broken by a man screaming, and that man was you. So I know how excited you and I were for Black Panther and how amazing an event that was. I love the fact that so many of our friends in the Asian community are going to get their opportunity to have that type of moment. I'm excited about this movie. I've already got my tickets for the soft opening on September the 2nd.
Yeah,
going to see it in IMAX the way it's supposed to be seen.
Of course.
In regards to your question regarding the reviews, I don't look at any reviews for a movie until I've seen it and reviewed it myself, because I don't want to be skewed.
Yeah.
So I couldn't speak to that, but no, I'm very excited about seeing this movie. And I mean, there's just something. Marvel has built, this level of capital, with a lot of people, including myself, where as soon as you see the trailer and you see the Marvel logo, it's like, okay, you know that something good is coming, because they don't put out bad movies. They just don't.
No, the recipe's good.
Yeah. I would still take Thor Dark World over Man of Steel any day of the week.
Really?
I'm just saying.
I'm a big Man of Steel fan. Like, I thought the story was amazing. I thought the recipe was put together properly. And that one, I guess I can do spoilers now. Spoilers. That one part
been like how many years? So yeah.
Yeah. Well, the one part where he had to kill Zod, I really felt it. Like, he was a person that wasn't for violence, but he had to save these people's life, and it took a lot for him to do that. I thought it was really good. That was me in a nutshell. So that was me. So.
Yeah, and that's fine. Really quickly, what I would rebut to that is the fact that, do I think Man of Steel was this terrible movie? No, but my biggest disappointment with Man of Steel, and this speaks more so to the whole marketing of Warner Brother and DC, they were just coming off the Dark Knight trilogy, which was phenomenal. That is just one of the best trilogies ever. And they basically had the landscape, they had the recipe to kind of do a little soft handoff, and they didn't. They dropped the ball. They basically took everything that Chris Nolan had done, and they just said, okay, we're going to dump that in the trash, and we're going to start from scratch. If they had looked at what Marvel had done in terms of like being able to pass on the baton, it would have, I think this could have put them in such a stronger position, but they didn't.
So you said DC would have had their universe that they wanted, instead of they went their own different way.
I mean, it's so decentralized now. You've got directors coming out and saying, oh, I want to put out my director's cut of my movie, and I want to put out my director's cut of Suicide Squad. You don't hear like Kenneth Branagh coming out and saying, oh, I want my director's cut of Thor. Like, it's just embarrassing.
I love the first Thor movie. The first Thor movie was awesome. It was really well done.
It was great. But what I'm saying is that if you look at what Marvel's doing in terms of like everything being laid out versus what juxtaposed with what DC is doing, which is just basically, okay, let's see what works. So, and I think that Man of Steel, they had so many great opportunities to do a tie-in, like even at the end of the Dark Knight Rises, where we saw Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character, like have some sort of tie-in with him and Man of Steel, and that would have been gold. That would have just had audiences going crazy. Yeah. But they went completely off course, and they decided to do something different. And I like Ben Affleck, but I've yet to hear anybody come up and say, man, he's such a phenomenal Batman. Man, he really took it from Christian Bale. No, it's not a thing. So, and yeah, anyways, we could go on, and this would be a whole other segment, but we should talk about this.
We definitely will have another conversation, especially Black Panther is coming out soon. I would love to get your opinion about the not recasting another T'Challa. So that'll be a next story. Hopefully you bring it back here next week Friday again. But once again, thank you for sitting down with us, Keith. Where could the listeners follow you and find you and get more information? And we're definitely going to bring you back on the Friday for Shang-Chi, so look out for that. So because I really want to know your opinion after seeing it. All right, where could they find you?
Yeah, thanks so much. CFL_fan. Twitter, Instagram. Of course, as you mentioned, I write for Ottawa Life Magazine, so you can check me out there as well. All
right, my man. And what song do you want to end off? You always come with a great song for the show, so I'm curious what you have today. So go ahead, my man.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I like to kick it old school, so we're going to go with a little Process of Elimination by Eric Gable.
All right, let's get into that here on the Morning Shift. Once again, Keith, thanks very much for hanging out with us. Have a great rest of your morning. Let's get into it here on the Morning Shift, CHUO 89.1. Let's go.